A 50-year-old wooden barn nearly unraveled my life in ways I never imagined. At 35, Sofia Alvarez, thought I'd seen most of life's twists when I inherited my father's modest home in Willow Creek, a sleepy suburban enclave. But the weathered barn in the backyard, a relic from my father's days as a master metalworker, held secrets that would ignite a firestorm with the HOA president, Claudia Bennett. What began as a petty neighborhood dispute spiraled into a chilling revelation of betrayal, crime, and justice that left our community reeling. Comment where you're watching from. This story will leave you stunned. 6 months ago, I inherited more than just a two-story house. Along with it came a 150-year-old barn, a sanctuary where my father, Antonio Alvarez, honed his craft, restoring antique jewelry and crafting intricate metal sculptures. Every night, after my day job restoring metalwork downtown, I'd slip into the barn to work on his final projecta, sprawling sculpture of salvaged metals from historic city buildings. The quiet of the barn was my refuge, but I didn't notice the prying eyes tracking my every move. Claudia Bennett, 52, the HOA's iron-fisted leader and a former corporate lawyer, decided my nightly visits were suspicious. From her pristine colonial-style home across the street, she watched me with an intensity that bordered on obsession, her curtains twitching as she wielded binoculars like a seasoned detective. The trouble started on a crisp October evening. As I carried my toolkit to the barn, Claudia's sharp voice cut through the dusk. "Sophia, I've noticed you're in that barn late every night. As HOA president, I need to ensure you're complying with community rules about auxiliary structures." Her tailored coat and tightly pinned hair screamed authority, but her eyes gleamed with something else: curiosity, maybe greed. I explained I was finishing my father's sculpture, mentioning his jewelry restoration work. That was my mistake. Her interest sharpened, and I later realized I'd unwittingly dangled a clue about my family's past. Claudia's scrutiny intensified. She peppered me with questions about permits and electrical work, her friendly notes slipping under my door with increasing menace. By week's end, an official HOA letter arrived, citing vague, suspicious activities and demanding documentation. Unknown to her, my father had installed a state-of-the-art security system in the barn, cameras covering every angle, motion sensors, and audio recorders that captured her every move. Night after night, she crept along my fence, peering through slats, unaware she was being recorded. But it was the audio that chilled me. Soft footsteps, metal clinking, and whispered voices probing the barn's locks at 2 a.m. Someone was casing my property, and Claudia was at the heart of it. Digging into public records, I uncovered Claudia's pasta-collapsed legal career, malpractice suits, a messy divorce, and bankruptcy. She'd lost everything, and her fixation on my barn felt like a desperate bid to reclaim power. Then I found a bombshell in my father's files. 20 years ago, he designed a custom security vault for Claudia's mansion, a project meant to shield her family's shady financial dealings. When she refused payment, claiming the system was faulty, she tanked his reputation, costing him his livelihood. The pieces clicked. Claudia wasn't just nosy. She was hunting for something she believed my father hid in that barn. Her next move was ruthless. At dawn, I woke to 47 neighbor messages. Claudia had posted on the neighborhood's social media, accusing me of running an illegal operation. Her grainy photos, shot through my fence with a telephoto lens, framed my routine as sinister. She hinted at unknown substances, my art supplies, and irregular electrical use, my father's workshop tools, spinning a narrative of danger. The comments exploded. Some neighbors defended me, but others bought her lies. As a metalwork restorer, I spotted her fatal flaw. The photos were doctored, with enhanced lighting to suggest valuable materials and darkened backgrounds to make the barn look ominous. She'd crossed into fabrication, and I had proof. Salvation came from Mr. Lou, a 78-year-old retiree with a pristine garden and a sharp eye. He'd documented Claudia's late-night trespassing, his own cameras capturing her sneaking into my yard. Armed with his testimony and my evidence of photo tampering, I posted a response online, detailing my sculpture work and subtly hinting at digital forensics. The community rallied, but Claudia doubled down, calling the police to demand my security footage, convinced it would expose me. She had no idea she was walking into a trap. With Detective Ramirez and Officer Hayes in my living room, we reviewed the footage. Claudia's smugness evaporated as the screen showed her creeping through my yard at 3:17 a.m., testing locks and muttering about the old system. The infrared cameras caught her lockpicking with professional tools, her face pale with recognition as she eyed a metal box in the barn's corner. The room went silent. Ramirez's gaze hardened, and Claudia's excuses claims of HOA duties crumbled. She demanded an investigation that proved her crimes: trespassing, attempted burglary, and more. After Claudia left with the officers, I opened the metal box she'd targeted. Inside was a letter from my father, a strange key, and a photo of Claudia, smiling beside him 20 years ago. His letter revealed her betrayal. She'd hired him to build a vault to hide her husband's money laundering, then ruined him when he knew too much. The key unlocked a hidden vault in the barn, packed with records of her crimes, bank routes, offshore accounts, and recordings of her threatening to destroy him. A hospital message, timed for 2 years after his death, warned that Claudia's threats had haunted him, likely triggering the stress that caused his fatal heart attack. She wasn't just after valuables, she feared evidence that could land her in prison. Claudia's final gambit was a $500,000 defamation lawsuit, painting me as the villain. But I'd found the smoking gun, audio of her admitting to fraud. I shared everything with Ramirez, whose team uncovered federal crimes. Claudia's daughter, Lily, 19, sealed her fate, providing recordings of her mother's obsessive rants about reclaiming what Antonio stole. At a community meeting, I exposed Claudia's 20-year crime spree with footage, documents, and Lily's tapes. Her denials collapsed as Ramirez arrested her for fraud, stalking, and money laundering. Her scream, "I lost everything because of him," echoed as handcuffs clicked. The barn's final secret wasn't cash, but my father's revolutionary security tech, biometric locks, and tamper-proof vaults worth millions. Claudia had known of its value, but her greed led to ruin. She was ordered to pay $50,000 in restitution and faced years in prison. I founded Sofia Alvarez Security Solutions, patenting my father's designs. Lily, seeking redemption, learned metalwork under me, turning pain into art. Claudia, stripped of power, moved to a drab apartment, her every step watched by my camera, a sign taunting. "Smile, you're on Sofia's camera." Mr. Lou's sign, "Heritage Triumphs Over HOA Tyranny," became a local legend. I now teach residents to fight HOA overreach, honoring my father's legacy. This wasn't just a neighbor dispute, it was a battle for truth, exposing a criminal hiding behind community trust. Share your story below. Have you faced a bully like Claudia? Your experience could inspire someone to fight back. The truth, when captured, doesn't just win, it reshapes lives.